Okay, here we are back in Celestian Tales, the Old North, with its official release. So there have been things added into the game, namely more of those medals as far as I know. I do not know if the alternate costumes and the secret dungeon have been put in just yet or if that's intended for a later date. But to access the dungeon, you need to collect the medals, which is why they do have some importance. And I said, let me just double check these. Okay, so yeah, they actually fixed his name. But I was thinking, depending on how fast I can play these, I might be able to set up a file for each character, but I can't really make any promises. But I said when the official release came out, I'd do Isaac, so here we go. Prologue for the Imposter. And I'm going to move my mouse so it's not in the way. Now, I don't believe any of the medals are available in the prologues, because then they'd be exclusive to certain characters. It's once we arrive that we can finally start to collect them. Her illness is too grave. Her body has grown too weak. I am sorry. There is nothing left for me to do. But, Father, isn't there anything you can give her? She's a devout follower of the Deus. Maybe if a healing crystal can be used. Do not be foolish, young man. The blessings of the Deus are reserved for those of noble birth. The crystals are not meant for commoners. What do you mean? She's sick like this because she worked hard to pay the taxes. Now after everything she's done, she's just going to be forgotten? Thrown away? Everyone has a place in this world, boy. Nobles live to lead the commoners, who in turn serve them. 'Tis the law of Deus Valorus. Yeah, I gotta get in the habit of pronouncing these names again. Worry not, thy mother shall be accepted in the eternal realm for her service in life. So you're just going to let her die? Everyone shall die one day. What matters is that she has lived by the words of the Deus. No, I refuse to give up. Reed? Mother, don't get up. Reed, it's all right. I've lived my life. You must let me go. Mother, if you live well, we'll be able to see each other again. I shall leave the two of you alone. Wondering if Reed's going to have a crisis of faith for the third decade, wondering whether or not he has lived a virtuous life or not, since those of you that followed my beta playthrough know what he does. Sorry for your loss, Reed. Look, you should come with us. This crappy village is done. The harvest failed, the youth's left a soldier, and damned winter is knocking on our doors. This is my home, Francis. Our home. How can we just leave? We can either leave or sit on our asses and starve to death. Where would you even go? I've talked to fellows at Whistling Woods. We can join the lot there and stay as foresters. Foresters? You're going to become a criminal now? Yeah, we'll poach, rob, and steal. There's no happy ending for people like us, Reed, but at least there's something to eat. I'm not sure I want that kind of life. Suit yourself. If you ever change your mind, you know where to find us. I imagine the prologues are pretty much set in stone. So this shouldn't really differ from the beta playthrough unless they maybe change the font or something weird. There's so little to eat. I won't survive a week with what I have left. Looks like I have no other choice. Forgive me, Mother. So Reed's off to become a bandit. The Whistling Woods. I'll have to go through the Great Plains. Goodbye, home. Okay, yeah, there's no fixed number of saves, so I probably could do a run-through of each of the characters. If I upload that to YouTube, I'll probably just cut out the gameplay and show nothing but the scenes. The Deus's hands will call for us at our own time. Today it's your mother. Who knows if it's me tomorrow? We've survived a number of failed harvests before, but this one... It's not yet winter, but the elders have started falling one by one. I don't think we'll go through this one. And if you're wondering, I'm just looking around in case there are any Prologue exclusive medals. And for those of you that are unaware, the medals are named after Kickstarter backers. You had to back it at a certain price point, and then there would be a medal inserted somewhere in one of the 3 decades with your name on it. So in case you're wondering, yes, the medals are not Prologue exclusive or even first chapter. They go all the way till the end of the game, or at least they're planned to. Now, I don't wish to fight. The one thing I am worried about, though, is whether or not there are any medals hidden out here. So the monsters appear as those black blobs on the map. This just looks suspicious to me. I wanted to go over here and mash the button, see if anything pops up, but I guess not. I was kind of expecting maybe for the finished prologue there would be like treasure chests over there, give you a healing item or something for your trouble. But no, not even that. Now if there's a river down here, that's where we'll meet Isaac. Yeah, I'm going to go over here. Okay, there's actually literally nothing. I guess they just opted to make these beginning areas a little confusing to mess with you. You there, help me. What happened, sir? A wild boar attacked me while I was riding my horse. My leg, it's broken. What would you have me do, sir? Take me to the nearest priest. He'll have healing crystals. Those should heal my wounds. Well, hurry up now. The pain is overwhelming. It's so easy for your kind, isn't it? What? What are you talking about? Everything in this world, everything is set up so that nobles like you can live in happiness. Get sick and they'll patch you up good. Get hurt and they'll lick your wounds. Meanwhile, commoners like me, we toil and suffer, and for what? Your tone is offending me, young man. Bring me to the priest now, and I will forget this transgression. No. What? Wait, why are you drawing your blade? You can't possibly... The punishment for attacking a noble is death. Help! My mother deserved a healing crystal far more than a spineless coward like you. Your mother? Please, don't. I'll give you gold. No turning back now. The life of an outlaw it is. Let's see. You should have plenty of gold. What's this? To the Honorable Lord Levant. I, Pascal of House Golden Lake, hereby entrust my son Isaac into your hands. I am gravely ill and my house has long been ruined from debt, but my son is a good man. He is the last of my house, and has neither retainers nor relatives. It is my hope that you will take him in as a squire and raise him to be a knight. Consider this the dying wish of an old friend. Signed, Pascal of House Golden Lake. The last of your house? What a coincidence. So am I. And we look alike, too. Maybe. I will take this life of yours. Life as Isaac the Squire sounds better than Reed the Bandit. Very well. From now on, I shall become Isaac Golden Lake. I will be a knight someday, a fair and just one who cares about his subjects. A better knight than a noble could ever be. Now, to Levantine. And that's pretty much the end of Reed's prologue. I'm not going to make this its own individual video this time. I'll probably just go into the first part. We're almost landing, young master. Young master? Beg pardon, sir. Oh, were you talking to me? Yes, young master, we are about to land. You might want to prepare your belongings. Oh, good. How much do I owe you? I've got gold coins. There's no need, master. We wouldn't dare. What? But you've taken me all the way here, even though you weren't planning on going this way. You know what? Just take this. Should be enough for the fees. But it's a commoner's duty to serve. If another noble sees me charge you gold for such a trivial service... No, I command you, O lowly servant, to take these gold coins and use them for your own good. I won't speak of this, nor should you. Keep it and buy yourself something good to eat. You are generous and kind, young master. Thank you. I'll never forget this. That felt good. I was wondering when the opening would appear. So, Chapter 1, Knight's Training. Welcome, young ones, to Castle Levantine. Your journey must have been long and tiring. I ask that you listen to what I have to say. Your parents sent you here so that you can learn under my tutelage. I may not be the best mentor of knightly arts, nor may I be the best in matters of piety. But as one destined as bearer of the sacred sword Garou, I shall do my best to teach you. Camille of the Reen. Yeah, I'm just gonna call them the Reen. How is your family? Is Lord Robert in good health? He tries to give that impression, my lord, but my father isn't getting younger. I see. I shall send some medicines as gifts for him, then. Your brother, too, earned his knighthood in these halls. I shall temper you on the same path. I hope I can make them proud, my lord. Ah, isn't it Renard from House de la Forêt? Stories of your might precede you, and they still don't have the circumflex over the E. Haha, you'll see them firsthand soon, my lord. Your family are unsung heroes that defend the realm, Master Renard. Do you think your own legend can someday rise up to their glory? I wouldn't have agreed to come here if I didn't believe so, my lord. What a spirited youngster. I'll expect much of you, kid. Aria of the Godland Geraldines. I was surprised to hear of your coming. I am, after all, far from being the most pious of knights. My lord is too humble. The name Levant owes thee for its praise all over the Old North. Faith comes in many shapes, my lord. Thine great wisdom is one amongst it. 'Tis an honor for me to be allowed to learn under such a man. Well, well, I see Lord Gareth has taught you to be a prodigy in the art of speech. You'll no doubt succeed in the ballrooms, but there's more to knighthood than politics. I understand, my lord. I shall deliver thee my best. Lucien, my, look at how you've grown. I heard you've just vanquished another band of renegades with your uncle, is that true? Indeed, my lord. Lord Uncle himself led the skirmish to glorious victory. That's her prologue, if you are wondering. Lord Uncle, A somehow odd choice for a nickname, don't you think? I'm sorry, my lord. I got used to calling him as such. It's all right, Lucien. A niece is allowed to be fond of her uncle, isn't she? How's my brother-in-law doing? Still as relentless as ever? As is fitting for the finest swordsman in the Old North, my lord. Good then. I hope he'll always stay that way. Young Master Isaac, my deepest condolences regarding the state of the Golden Links. I'm not very close with your father, but I shall respect his last wishes and take you in as squire. Thank you, my lord. Is something wrong, my lord? No, something is troubling me, but I can't seem to put it. I guess I'm just getting old and forgetful. Now, this is a rare occurrence indeed. It's not often we see an elf wishing to be a squire. Yet the badge you brought is your father's, you say? Yes, Mother gave it to Lee and said she should show it to you. I knew him full well, Ilian. Your father was a good man. And if you are indeed his daughter, then you do have the right to be knighted. Thank you for this opportunity, Lord. Lee will cherish these days. First of all, though, perhaps I should have you learn how to correctly address nobles. Huh? Did Lee say something wrong? No matter. I suppose it will take care of itself later. Knighthood. Such a thing is not a privilege given to those born of noble blood. It is a sacred responsibility, given to us by the heavens and by those who came before us. Some might think that being a noble means being entitled, but that's not all what it is. Noblesse oblige, the phrase goes. We are nobles not only in titles, but in duties. So if you want to know the phrase real quick, that's nobility obligates, or nobility's obligation. It's where Spider-Man's famous line, with great power comes great responsibility, is derived from. It's a old French thing, as you may have guessed from how it's pronounced, and they don't have the proper accent marks in there, but oh well. Your training won't be easy, squires, nor will it be pleasant. This isn't the place for that. I might not teach you how to behave in court, nor how to charge into battle atop a destrier, but I will teach you the most basic and important tenet of knighthood, to perform your duties. Duties to our people, duties to our queen, duties to our realm. These are things that run our world. Husband dearest, perhaps you should keep this speech brief. These young ones have traveled just far and wide to reach Levantine. I'm sure they need rest. Yes, you're right, dear. Forgive me for the overzealous oratory. I tend to get carried away at times. Perhaps most of the time, husband dear. Let me show them to their rooms so they can rest. Very well. Get some rest tonight, squires. Tomorrow you will start your training. Jacques, Levantine's master-at-arms, shall be your mentor for the day. It will be glorious, a start to your adventures. I have no doubt of that. Master Isaac, is there really nothing else you bring? I'm afraid so, my lady. House Golden Lake hasn't been in a very prosperous condition lately. I'm very sorry to hear that, Master Isaac. I didn't think it'd be this bad. Perhaps I'll see if I can purchase some presentable attire for you to wear. Such ragged clothes like the ones you're wearing, they're not very befitting for a noble. But I can't accept that, my lady. Please, no need to trouble yourself. Very well then, but don't hesitate to ask if you need anything, Isaac. Feel free to spend the rest of the day however you want, but don't forget to rest. Tomorrow your training begins, and you'll need all your energy. If you ever wonder where you should go, check the lore book to see where you should go next. That'll keep you from being lost. It'd be disrespectful if you don't do your best because you lacked proper rest. I understand, Lady Sophia. Thank you. I shall leave you to your own then, Master Isaac. May you find Levantine an enjoyable place. So you can see the sparkling object in the library. We get a free level. We need to go into, I think the guy's name was a story? I'm not entirely sure. Right there we got Sutandi's honor medal. I think there was another one here in the mansion somewhere, but I'll do the rounds real quick talking to the other characters. Hey there, what are you doing coming into my room? I can't wait till tomorrow's training. Must be a lot of swinging of axes around. Oh, you startled me. Can I help you with something? If not, I'm a little busy sorting out all these stuffs, so can you please leave? Hello, my name is Julianne. Lee is still new to all this. She's a little afraid of making mistakes. She looks forward to playing with the other squires. It'll be fun, right? Greetings, fellow squire. May the dais guide us both in our quest for knighthood. Hello, fellow squire. What can I help you with? Let's do our best in squiring and become knights together. I don't know if there are any additional areas put into the game, which does complicate things a bit. I think this is the bedroom. Yeah, the chamber. And I'm just going to do a quick sweep around the mansion for medals, and then I will go to sleep and we will move the storyline forward. Probably should have talked to Sophia there and saw if she was still glitched. I'm just hoping no medals are hidden in blind spots like this, because that would be extremely tedious to check. And sadly, I don't know how many there actually are in this game, so I won't know if I find them all until that achievement pops up. Speaking of which, I should probably show you guys. Okay, they aren't consistent. Sometimes it's called lore book, sometimes it's called log book. Under achievements, you can see the various ones. Only when they Okay. I don't know what the difference between hallowed and venerated is, but it looks like there's only 3 other medals. I also didn't see if an achievement popped. No matter. That looks like one awesome bed to sleep in. Sadly, I am playing this in full screen mode, so I have no idea how long these parts are lasting. I'm kind of playing it by ear. Young Master, the Master at Arms is waiting for you in the stables. Please meet him as soon as you are able to. So in one of the versions of the game, it would glitch right here. When you try to go to the stables, it would crash. That was fixed by the time I finished my beta playthrough, but still something of note. Might interest some of you. You're late, Squire. Get here and start working. Now listen up, Squires. Horses are not merely beasts of burden. They are crucial companions for a knight. A horse gives one great advantages in combat, such as mobility and power from momentum. A lance strike from a mounted knight can devastate even the toughest of foes in a single impact. But power and mobility aren't the greatest advantages these horses give. Instead, it is to be noticeable. Mounted commanders are easier seen by their foot soldiers. Their commands can be better heard. Baron Riviere, the legendary knight known as the Moonblade, is known to be very skilled in mounted combat. A knight's mount is his status symbol. Such were his words of wisdom. This is an outrage. Why must we wallow in this cesspit? We are learning to be knights, are we not? We should be on the top of these horses, not behind them. Unfortunately, Princess, that only applies to knights, not squires. Then what is the point of doing this? 'Tis useless to learn what we never need to do. To do this again or not isn't the point of this training, Squire. Yes, you will probably never do this ever again, but someone will have to do it. Someone will have to clean your horses for you so that you can sit and lounge around lazily. Someone will have to feed them so they have the strength to carry you on their backs. Do you even notice that there are people, real people, doing all these things for you? Just like what I thought. Then this is the perfect training for you. I'll be back in a while. Don't stop picking up those nice squishy balls of dung. How can 2 horses make such a huge mess? So when Lord Elaine talked about duty, he meant shoveling shit out of the stable. The Master-at-Arms did have a point there, though. Most nobles tend to forget that there are people doing the small things we take for granted. I know, but still. I guess this is just not the kind of train I imagined it'd be. Thou and I both, Renard. This kind of lowly task is truly beneath nobility. Please don't bite me. Don't worry, Camille. She's quite sweet, see? See? You can pat her like this. She won't bite you if you're nice to her. I see. I'm not quite used to all these, tasks. As with me, and I would imagine none of us is. Yet it seems Lucien and Isaac are unmoved by this horrible stench. How could ye stand it? Me? Well, it's a bit different for me. I've been in the LaRue cavalry since I was 14. I'm used to horses now. 14? I'd imagine thou need some training before being accepted into the ranks. Was it because thou were a LaRue that the cavalry allowed thee in at such a youth? Of course not. The LaRue holds their banner with pride, and even I have to earn my place there. That's why my lord uncle started teaching me to fight ever since I could handle a weapon. Back then, I was 7, if I recall correctly. 7? Dear days, isn't it rare for a girl to train so early? Maybe. I've been watching Lord Uncle since I was little, though, so it wasn't that odd for me. I guess if it's the Ravager that teaches you, it's to be expected. Wait, what? You were trained by the Ravager himself? He's my uncle. There's nothing weird about being taught by your uncle. Yes, but not everyone has the privilege of being the pupil of the legendary Lord Severin. Lee is a little lost. Who is this person you're talking about? Lord Severin LaRue, also named the Ravager, perhaps the greatest swordsman alive in the realm. Legend has it that he's won 100 wars and has never been defeated in a battle. I think I've heard about him battling the Fey forces as well. Do the elves never talk of him? No, not really. We don't speak about humans that much in general. Lee used to think that you were enigmatic creatures roaming the world outside the forests. If anyone is enigmatic, that would be the elves, Ilian. Anyway, I want to personally see what someone trained by the Ravager can do. Is that a challenge, de la Forêt? Hey, stop chatting and finish your work, squires. If you don't work faster, I'll make you clean the chamber pots as well. Finished at last. Now, can we take a bath, O Master-at-Arms? A bath? Far from it. Your task for the day is merely halfway done. You see this entire carriage full of dung? You have to deliver it to Mudtown, west of the city. Mudtown? Is it a town made of mud? No, not really. So why is it called Mudtown? Because there's a river and it's muddy? I don't know, kid. It's just a name. So why are we taking this dung pile there? Do they need it for something? For fertilizers. Got to send them fresh so the villagers can grow us good vegetables. What's that I hear? Did you say chuckle at me, boy? Ha, another timid squire, I see. Not even brave enough to admit what he did. Is this how you want to live your nightly life, Isaac? Hiding when you're confronted? Is that wussy kind of life the one you're aiming for? If not, then tell it to my face. Manure isn't used fresh, Master-at-Arms. They have to compost for weeks before it can be used. If you use it straight from the horse, it won't be vegetables that grow, but weeds. Really? Yes. Fresh dung contains too much water, which makes it easy for weeds to grow. If let to compost, this dung will dry up, which makes it easier for vegetables to grow. That's surprisingly insightful, Isaac. There, not so hard, isn't it, Squire? Now, instead of being known as meek, others will think you're knowledgeable. You do seem to have know-how about agriculture. Do plainsmen do a lot of farming? Not that much. I just learned about it. Now listen up, squires. This is a very important lesson. More often than not, traveling is a dangerous task. Everywhere, roads are infested with wild animals and criminals alike. To mitigate these dangers, you should split into parties of 3 and prepare for encounters. A party of 3 can work well together. More than that, and a fight turns cluttered and chaotic. Also, while the 3 stand in the front lines, the others can handle other tasks, such as guarding the cart. I would prefer to take the vanguard rather than being in the proximity of this horrendous stench. Me too, let me go ahead and have a swing of my axe. You know, it'll take a while to have all of you fight over who does what. So here's how it'll go. Isaac, pick 2 to go with you and range ahead. The rest will stay with the cart and depart a few minutes after you. Very well. You can switch active party members to reserve any time out of combat. To do it, access the menu and change the party composition. The active party is the team that will fight battles. The party leader cannot be set to reserve and must always remain in the active party. That's one of the things that I don't really like about this game. It does shoehorn you into using a certain comp, especially if some of the fights have not changed since beta. Do you understand what I'm saying, squires? Bingo. Good. Now go and return before sunset. Be careful of wild mongrels out there. The mountain roads can be treacherous. Okay, so they gave me Aria and Camille. I'm going to toss in Yillian, even though she's not as good of a healer, at least in beta. And I'm going to keep Camille here because she can pierce the sucker's defense. So we can now enter Levantine, the town. And the way it's set up, you do have to take this long, winding, snaky path to progress. Now, I thought there was a medal somewhere around there. Oh, wow, there's actually a lot of these things. So, hallowed, venerated, and honored. There's 14, 17, 18. Definitely gonna have to keep my eyes peeled as I go. Are we able to come down here? Will this guy stop us? The other thing is I also don't know if those are like all those are actually available in the first chapter. I think those are first chapter, and then the other ones we put in for the other chapters. I shouldn't even say chapter, I should say decade, first decade. So we definitely need to be thorough in our searches. You can't actually go on the grass, so you don't have to worry about that. Nothing to be found up here. And I don't know if the stores have been implemented just yet. In beta, you couldn't use them just yet, but I don't know if that was design choice or some sort of just developmental restriction. Can't go in there. Bridge is under maintenance, find another way. Yeah, I don't have any money yet. I don't even think I have anything to sell. And I was kind of hoping there would have been some sort of regen item, but we'll make do. Also good to note that both the light and the heavy armor are the same right now. If you're wondering about heavy armor, that's used by Lucien, Aria, and Renard. The light armor is used by my group right here. Reed, not Lucien, Elian, and Camille. Ran out of coal, so we can't customize our stuff. I don't know how that system works just yet. I am playing this somewhat blind. Fact of the matter is, I played through the beta, but this is my first time trying the finished build, so should be some things that have changed, some things that are still consistent. And I believe there's a medal down here, so I'm coming out of my way to grab it real quick. I also don't know if there's one over here. Definitely would make the long trek over here somewhat worthwhile, but nope, you get nothing. So while we wait, I can tell you that if you're wondering how often the uploads for this is going to be, since I don't want to show the gameplay of the other characters, since most likely it's going to be the same unless there are some new strategies that you can pull off, I'm probably going to put out the read parts as fast as I can, and then I will do the other ones probably every weekend, I'm hoping. Depends on when I actually have the time. I thought there was one down here on the docks. Could it be down there? Yeah, I'm not seeing anything sparkle. Well, we'll have the opportunity to check again when the time comes for us to actually set sail. But for the meantime, we'll go back en route to Mudtown and progress the storyline. And it's a long way up. might be a little too much white to use for this town. Try not to pick fights as I go. And that looks kind of suspicious, but it might just be a double tree or something. We're going up here. Worthless loot. Raw meat I think you can just sell unless I put in some sort of new use for it. So this guy actually chases you pretty far. Crap, I do need to go down. It's kind of nice that you're faster than the enemy so that you can get away from them if you have no interest in fighting. Code of Vitality. Here's how you equip. I'm going to put this on Yilian since she'll be my healer for the first fight. During the beta, Aria was the superior healer, but I'm just trying to mix things up. If you want to be optimal, stick with her. There it is, the cart from Levantine has arrived. Greetings, villagers. We are here to deliver the contents of this cart on behalf of Lord Elaine. Look at that, such a big pile. Indeed, and the stench is sickening. Is it really? It somewhat is, but at least there were beasts to fight. I thought it was going to be a boring trip, but that was kind of fun, I'd say. Why are you happy to hurt animals, Renard? Do humans find it fun? Of course, the heat of combat, the feeling of your weapon hitting a foe, is exhilarating. Lee doesn't understand. Don't worry, Lee, me neither. The cart is yours now. Please take care of it. We will, miss. Please inform Lord Levant that we are truly grateful for this. Never has I seen someone so happy over dung. In the castle, the heap is nothing but filth, but here they have their uses. Turning filth into something useful. Lord Elaine does know what his people need. Lee thinks it's very clever. She will tell her mother about this one day. Is this how a wise man rules? Duty to the people, huh? At any rate, we should return. The sun will set soon. Right now, does thy endurance know no bound, Lucien? I would assume that it does not. Why don't we take a look around for a bit before walking back? Seeing how the commoners are doing is part of a noble's duty too, right? That's a good idea, really. Very well, let's take a rest for a while before going back. So, items that you can pick up will sparkle, like so. We get an aged necklace. When you try to leave, there will be a boss fight for us, so make any preparations you feel you need. Nothing is sparkling, so this means there's no loot to be found. River's currents used to be so strong that there were no fishes around here. But since Lord Levant built the watermill, not only are there fishes, we often get big catches too. Nothing. Lee likes this village. It's so peaceful, so different from the city and the castle. The village reminds Lee of her home. Do many humans live like this? Unfortunately, Mudtown is an exception. Since it's only reachable from Levantine, the village has always been safe from outlaws. Not many can say the same. Indeed, prosperous villages are rare out there. And if there are any, they often become ripe targets for bandits and marauders. The realm is a dangerous place, Yilian. It's not always like this. Sometimes people are so poor they have no choice but to become bandits. If living honest lives is enough to feed their families, and still they must pay taxes to the nobles, wouldn't you do that as well? We may see the outlaws simply from the surface, but there's always a bigger story behind it. Nobody wants to be criminals because they're born evil. Isaac, there's no need to put ourselves in that place. Deus Valorus created the lowborns to serve us, the noble caste. In turn, we are to guide and protect them. 'Tis how the Deus wrote the world, and 'tis how it should be. If one cannot afford to pay taxes, they may serve the realm in other ways, such as becoming soldiers. Never is there an excuse to take what is not rightfully thine. Such atrocities simply cannot be justified. Hey, I agree with that. Soldiering is much more exciting than a peaceful life anyway. Seriously, don't people get bored here? There's no fights, no dangers. I'd die in a week. Hey, boy. Yes, you there. Yes, you boy. Come here. Yes, Master? Did you call for me? Are there any giant beasts around here we can hunt? Any renegades we can squash? No, there's nothing like them around here. See, it's so boring. Don't you agree with me, kid? Well, a bit. Are there always giant beasts, robbers, and renegades outside, Master? I've always wanted to leave this village and travel, but I don't know what's out there. You should be thankful to have good crops every year and not starve. Some villages out there are starving to death. If those kinds of people want to leave their homes, I can understand. But here, this village is already far better off than most in the realm. Why would you even want to leave? It's my father, young master. I want to go outside the village to look for him. He hasn't returned for years, and I haven't heard anything from him. But I'm sure he must be out there, somewhere. Are you sure you want to do that? It's a dangerous world out there, a different kind of place than this peaceful village. A boy like you won't survive for long. How are you going to find him if you can't take care of yourself? I guess you're right, miss. A kid like me would have little chance fighting beasts or bandits, but I can always avoid them, right? Avoiding enemies might be easy at first glance, but life isn't that simple. There will inevitably be encounters that you have no choice but to face. The more you avoid enemies, the less you'll be trained physically and mentally. There will be fewer fights, but the ones you have to face will be harder. That doesn't just go for you, it goes for us as well. That's why it's not always wise to avoid enemies, just because we're lazy. I see, then I guess I should start training from now. After everything she said, you're still going to leave this village someday? Of course, Master. If words can put my spirits down, how am I ever going to find my father? Look at this young lad. More villagers should learn from your confidence. What's your name, brave kid? It's Cameron, Master. Cameron, huh? Good luck finding your father. If we ever meet again, tell me what you've seen in your travels. Now go back to what you were doing. The crops won't farm themselves, you know. Will do, Master. Thank you for encouraging me. You shouldn't have encouraged him, Renard. He's but a kid. The girl who started wielding a weapon at 7 wants to lecture me about this, and they still have that one grammar mistake there. Wielding a weapon. It's getting late. We should get going. Master at Arms must be waiting for us. Okay, gotta go around the tree. Found a main. Nothing sparkling. Nothing we need there. Okay, nothing hidden. Damn it, they do have them hidden in blind spots. So, which one was that? Venerated. So I'm gonna guess there's a venerated around each one of the characters that have pictures. So there's probably one back in town that either I missed or haven't just found yet. And I'm kind of wondering if they are placed in order, so that would mean I did miss one so far. But the way things are set up, I don't think anything is actually permanently missable. The door to this house seems to be locked. Nothing sparkling. I really don't want to check all the blind spots in the castle town. Huh. So he was trying to teach you how to juggle aggro. going to drop the save right here. And let's go fight the boss. Oh, I forgot to put on the necklace. Oh well. What's wrong, Camille? You look like there's something on your mind. Oh, it's just nothing important, really. I keep thinking about what that kid Cameron said back there. About leaving that peaceful village of his? He said something about wild beasts on these paths, didn't he? Must be these wiggling boars we cut through. It's an easy job for us, but deadly for a little kid. Maybe you're right. I'm just afraid there might be... What was that? Something's coming our way. Get ready. So, we're going to launch a sharpened bolt. I'm going to pick off the small fry first. Reed, we're going to have him try to finish the job. Okay, these things are weaker than I remember. As for Elian, her regeneration... Let's try using it, see how effective it is. Not bad. I'm just going to launch it in this one. Can Reed one-shot these? No, he cannot. Going to defend just to get the points up. Going to defend here for the same reason. Meanwhile, I'm going to try to finish off that boar. Now Reed should have aggro. Going to toss regeneration on him, and it's time to go offensive. Still has his defense up. Now he doesn't. For a second I thought the game might have froze. But hopefully you can see why Yillian is not really a good healer. Her regeneration would probably have to cost 1 point to actually be worthwhile, which I sadly just don't see happening. Let's try Toxic Touch. To make things worse, Aria's heal actually does cost 1 if they haven't changed it from the beta. And that's that. So we got a worn out gauntlet, some new moves unlocked. How did we fail to notice such a beast the first time we passed here? Never mind that. Look at that heap of succulent, juicy meat. Are you going to kill it, Renard? Of course I am. This catch can feed the whole castle for a day. But it attacked because it felt threatened. We were trespassing her territory. Can't we just let her go? We can let her go now, but what if she attacks the villagers some other day? We have weapons and armor, but those commoners, their lives are at stake here, and that's the location there, not the possessive there. No, I misread that. There are lives at stake here. It must be confusing for humans, not being able to commune with animals. In a known Torre, the forests are safe because its beasts are protecting us. Unfortunately so, Yillian, the human world is different from yours. It might take a while for you to get used to it. Lee's not sure she ever wants to get used to this. Fine, let's leave this beast here and let nature decide its life or death. It attacked us, we defended ourselves, done. Now let's get back to Jacques. 'Tis an agreeable notion. Let us make haste. I find the prospect of having to drag a carcass back to the castle terribly appalling. I hope you'll be alright, Miss Piggy. And I'm going to avoid the fights for as long as I can, which is primarily going to be until the Tortured Enders fight, unless that got changed. Hey look, it's a story. Squires, what brings you to these parts? Just killing some beasts. Good pastime to train your muscles. We were tasked with delivering a cart to Mudtown. We're on our way back to Levantine. What are you doing here with those plants, mister? Me? I'm collecting white rocks, you see. They're the main ingredient to craft crystals. Crystals? Oh, elves don't use crystals, do they? Here, let me show you one. Crystals can store magical energy. They're common in the Old North as restorative items. They're pretty. Since they merely store energy, crystals give different effects depending on what is stored in them. Usually its color will tell you what it does. 'Tis true indeed. Blessings of the Deus are white, as fitting for his divine gifts. Well, it's white because it isn't because of its holiness, I'm afraid. All energies which restore health are shown as white, even if it comes from other sources. But what other sources could there be, Sir Astori? 'Tis not of the arcane thou art implying, is it? We all know such powers are not to be touched. It will corrupt us. Relax, Miss Aria. I'm not one to question the words of the law. Anyway, remember that all white crystals help you regain your health. Blue ones will fill your stamina, and green ones whisk away negative effects. What about saving the dying? I heard the white ones can't do it. For that, Master Isaac, you need the red ones. They are by far the most potent crystals, powerful enough to heal grave wounds. Lee never knew. Where does she get these crystals? 'Tis the task of gifted followers of the Deus to channel divine energies into crystals. Nobles in need can get them from any church for a small fee. Red crystals in particular are available for a very small price. Okay, that's the opposite of what I remember planned during development, but okay. 'Tis best for nobles to always carry them at all times, as they may save lives. However, as they are rare and difficult to make, a noble is merely entitled to merely one at a time. That means a party of 6 like us may only carry 6 red crystals at most. So, as I was trying to say, this is more in line with what the devs were saying during development, that you are limited at 6 red crystals. We'll have to see if that actually holds true in this release, or it's like the beta where kind of anything goes. Miss Aria is correct, therefore you must be careful in using crystals. The more you spend now, the less you'll have for battles to come. Crystals are a staple for knights and squires. Don't ever leave without them. Since the road may get dangerous, why don't you take some of my crystals? So, he has no trouble carrying more than 1 red crystal, but we'll take them. You can get more at the church, but these should do for the moment. So many colorful crystals. Thank you, mister. My pleasure, little elf. Now, if you'll excuse me, I still have some rocks to find. And I'm guessing these are all no good. It's getting dark soon. We should keep heading back. Once the day ends, I will put a break in the video, so next time we'll be moving forward, and I still have to find that damned medal. If you're wondering, right now I'm walking along the edges of the wall, mashing the A button on my Xbox controller to see if maybe they hit it right here. A little bit of wishful thinking, but who knows. Going to drop a save here because why not? And the scene begins. Welcome back, squires. How was your trip? Not the most pleasant. There was a huge boar on the road, and it attacked us. We defeated her, but then Lee felt bad for hurting the boar, so we let it go. Well, at least everyone looks to be in good health. That's something to celebrate. Dinner will be served in the Great Hall soon. Lord Levant and Lady Sophia will also be there. Finally, I'm so hungry I could eat a whole boar myself. A whole boar? Uh-huh, finding that boar reminds me of its sweet, juicy, succulent meat. We shouldn't be late for the table, then. Before you go, however, go take a bath and make yourselves presentable, squires. You smell terrible. So, yeah, I really jumped up in level. Okay, and we have a scene for Reed here. But to find out what's going on, you guys will have to watch the next part. Ah, Ilian's involved. Good to know. So, we'll be picking up here next time. Until then, I'm the Hero of Light. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.